order so I can say which order. Okay. Okay.
What? Ai đầu tiên nào?
You want to go first, second, third, fourth?
I think I will go first. Okay. Whoa, because I think that.
Hôm nay là buổi học tiếng Anh cuối cùng của các bạn đang chạy hè tại Sydney và các bạn bắt đầu thử trình diễn kỹ năng thuyết trình về các cái chủ đề mà các bạn ấy lựa chọn sau khi đã học một khóa tiếng Anh ngắn hạn về kỹ năng giao tiếp và trình bày. Các bạn chuẩn bị đón xem nhé.
So you're first. Who's second? Who's second?
Phương nói lý do ai thế thì ai
Đang chạy hè tại Sydney và các bạn bắt đầu thử trình diễn kỹ năng
Your voice, not hello, my name is.
Okay. Và đây là thầy Simon Williamson, thầy sẽ có phần giới thiệu. Hi Simon.
Welcome everyone to our last homestay class. We've had a wonderful 2 weeks with Kai, Kay, John, and Up. We've had a wonderful 2 weeks. I can see Up trying to get into the video. So this is the last exercise. I asked the students last week to make a presentation. So they are going to present something that either they're interested in or they have done in Australia. So they picked the topics themselves. They've worked to make the presentation for you. They've had some coaching from me on how to do presentations. So hopefully they'll do a great job. So each presentation is around 20 minutes. And then after the presentation, the other students will ask some questions. But we've done some training on how to do good presentations. I've shown them what is a bad presentation, so they know what not to do. So hopefully they'll do a great job. And this is the final exercise of the English classes that we've been holding over the last 2 weeks. And their English has improved dramatically. So if you ever think of sending your son or daughter to Australia for English, it's a brilliant idea because their language just increases so well, becomes so much better. Okay, so first up today, we have Up. Yes? Yes, Up, you're going to come up and show us what you've got.
Just
okay?
act like there is this. Yeah.
So we'll take a full screen for you.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just okay. Face the front. Face the front. Okay, we got Up. Woo!
Wait, can I ask one thing? Can you move it a little bit because like I can't see the audience.
Oh, you can't see the audience?
Yeah.
Anthony, if you want to move it, because you can't see the audience. We move the whole table?
No, but I need
I think just a box.
And other guys, can you sit down please while the presenter. Sit down and no talking, okay? Respect the speaker.
Oh, please.
Okay? Respect her presentation.
Yeah. Okay.
Wait a minute.
So, what are you talking about today? What are you going to talk about?
So, okay, good. Is it good morning? Yeah, I think it's good morning, everyone. So I am Up, and today is the presentation day, and I'm going to introduce you my trip in Australia. So before I go into detail, I want to give the outlines of my presentation. first part, I will talk about experience in my homestay, differences compared to Vietnam, and about Australian like people and life. So the second part, I will talk about what I have learned, which is like the most two topics that I mentioned is about flag and emblem of Australia, which is like coats of arms and Australian animals. So first, my experience in my homestay. I think everything is okay. My host mother and host dad is very friendly, and food is good. Except my lunch is a bit not so for me. But there's three things I find it like cultural shock. I think the first thing is the electric socket. You can see here it's like it has 3 legs. I don't know what it is. It's not free, so I bring mine just 2 in from Vietnam too, so I can't plug in it. So I have to buy one in the market, and after I plug it in, I still cannot charge my phone. And after that, I have to ask the host mother, and she said that this has the like switch, but this picture doesn't have it, but it has a switch, so I have to turn it on. So after that, I can charge my phone. The second thing is about the bathroom. In Vietnam, in my bathroom in my house, there are 2 shower screens here to like avoid spitting water to the floor. But in my homestay, there are just 1. Oh, but this is not my bathroom in our homestay. It's just like I found it on the internet, but it's similar. And the third thing is the doors don't have locks. I don't know why, but when I come into my room and I found that the door it was like without locks, I think it's a bit I don't know why, but I think it's like a bit awkward. So when I go into the toilet, it doesn't have to. So I think it's I don't want that. So yeah, is it? That was sorry, I'm a bit nervous. So the second part, I want to talk about the differences compared to Vietnam. So the first thing I see here is when I go shopping the first day to the market, and there's no culture. We have to do it by ourselves. As here is have a machine, and we put our material, like the thing we knit, on this, and it will like automatically pay like count for us, and then when you put the money in, this will automatically give the charge. And the second one is, I think there's like in my area, there's no building like tall apartment or something. It's just like house land here in the picture. I take it myself, and also here it's like sunny waves. I don't see it in Vietnam or here. It's just like not popular in my place. Yeah, there's differences compared to Vietnam. And this is the most surprising. So you know what it is? What's that? It's a bookshop. It's I know, but street library. So that is the most like surprising me when I came to Australia. So we have a trip to like Secret Garden, and I see this just like in front of the toilet. So I have took a picture of it, and yeah, it's like here is me for take. The book is like free. So the next thing is in Australia, I found many water refill stations, and also tap water is drinkable. In Vietnam, if we drink tap water, we will have stomachache and I have tried one, but luckily I doesn't have that. So the next thing is public transport. About public transport. So in Australia, there are a lot of public transport, like bus, train, or some more like ferry. So, and on the road, I think most of and mostly I think we use train or bus. And in here, but in Vietnam, it's like on the other hand, just on the street, it's full of motorbike and some cars, and it's pollution. So the next thing is in Australia, driving or walking is on the left hand side, which is like opposite to Vietnam is on the right hand. So when I come to Australia, when I'm walking on the road, I'm a bit confused, and I have to change the direction. And also when I come into the car, I see it, the driver's seat in car in Australia is on the right hand, but in Vietnam it's on the left hand. So the next thing is about Australian people and wildlife. So my first impression of Australian, they're very friendly. So yeah, the first day I came by bus here, use public transport. I asked many people on the road how to get on the bus or where is the Westbright station or something, and they helped me a lot. Even one, like she's go to the Westbright station too, and she's running, and I'm running with her to the Westbright station, and I'm just in time to go on train. And it's also my, like, I get lost on that day too. But I also have like the bus driver, like he helped me to get off the bus and find a way. Yeah, and the Aussie slang. I want to ask you something about the Aussie slang, if you know them.
Wow. That's really interactive.
Do you know what a breaking?
Break the food.
Yeah. What about blood?
An exaggeration, like very something.
No.
Really?
Yeah. Tips.
Hello?
Yeah. Soccer.
Who?
Yeah. Okay. You're really good at this, I think. And also wildlife. I think many birds, like where I go, is anywhere I go, I will see the bird. And I think I like most of the people in the Miami Beach, I think, because I think they look funny and I want to touch them, but they always go away, so I can't. And
Oh, perfect.
so the third thing is what I have learned about Australian flag. Here is the Union Jack. I think it's like in England flag here, and as I have researched, there is like the white Commonwealth stars, and it's at 7.6. It's represent 6 states of Australia, and one more is about territories of Australia. So in here is a Southern Cross, and it's like iconic stars, like constellation that you can follow it and it led to Australia. And about this island or coats of arms, here is the shell in the center. It has like 6 flags of 6 states in Australia, The first one is New South Wales. The second one is Victoria. The third one is Queensland. The fourth one is south of Australia. The fifth one is Western, and the last one is Tasmania. And how the shell is kangaroos and emus, where it's the native Australian animals. Here is the golden wattle. It's also the native like flowers of Australia. And the top one is also the like Commonwealth stars. Is also is similar to this. And about Australian animals. So the kangaroos is about, it has about 15 million of kangaroos in Australia, which is more than people in Australia. And they're native animal in Australia, in here, like that. And it is one kind of mushroom. Wait, how to say it? Mushroom.
Marsupial.
Yeah, marsupial. It has a pouch here to carry her like offspring, and also part of it is also like one part is also marsupial. And the part of it look like shy, and it's really shy, like it's just run away when it's being attacked, but it can also under fit. This has poison that is so strong that it can kill a dog. So you must be careful when you touch it. Also the bottle spider. It's like the deadliest spider on the world, and also the coastal tiger. It's also the deadliest snake in the world. And as Nick Green said the day before, there are 7 out of 10 like dangerous, most dangerous snake in Australia, and 4 out of 5, top 5 is in New South Wales, is the place we're in. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening.
Question in time.
Do you have any questions?
Could you go back to the cashier thing?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, is that the same in every supermarket you go or in every shopping center you go? Is there where you said that you during those you don't have like cashiers, right?
Yeah, but I think it's yes in some, like, do you remember when we're in Macquarie Center and in the giant bookshop? Yeah, he has a cashier. But in the big mall, and I think here like some Big W or
Woolies.
clothes or some.
Woolworths.
Yeah, I think it's like they have a machine like this or like automated.
Anybody else got the question?
Okay.
John, anything?
Do you have any question?
Hi. One question each. Please. Yep, John.
Do the most deadliest spiders and the snake live in Australia?
Yeah.
Good.
What about dogs when you're referring to the type of animals? Is there any specific significance?
I think yes, but I haven't researched about it, and I think I can answer you like the next day.
Right.
Why you don't use the photos of homestay, your homestay file?
Because I have read in the report, no, not report, but like
Contract.
the introduction of our homestay. and she write that if you want to take a photo of any place in our homestay, have to have her permission. So I don't want to ask her. So I just took
Correct.
one and internet.
Remember, Australian people are very friendly, but they also respect privacy.
Yeah.
Okay, I think maybe would you like to have some comments or feedback for the comments? Yeah.
I'll put my glasses on. So, congratulations, that was fantastic. I really liked the fact that you tried to address the audience directly, even though it's a bit difficult when you're pressing and a bit hard from this side. Your slides were very simple, very easy to understand, right? The slides were really good, very simple. And she laid out the presentation with content so you knew exactly what she was going to talk about. And I really like the way you took some photos and you put it in your presentation, you know, like to show what you'd really experienced. Your language was very good and your speed was very good this time, much better. The first time you presented, she was speaking very fast, but now much slower, right? How did you feel? You feel it went well?
Yeah, but I think I'm a bit awkward when I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah.
But really good presentation. Much better than last week. Completely different. It's like completely different. So again, let's give her a round of applause. Brilliant. Brilliant. Well done.
I just said that I give you a few more comments.
Yeah.
For that presentation next time. Thank you, Simon. All right. So the first thing, I'm talking about the room for improvement. Okay, you have done a great job, and I think what she has learned about Australia is more than the understanding and knowledge of a normal Australian person about the flag, about the coats of arms and things like that. You have, or you can pass the Australian citizenship test very easily. Yeah, okay, so that's a very good thing. But the thing, I think the most important thing that you can do to improve your presentation is your posture. Your posture. So, yeah, that's it. Don't do this, okay? Don't do this in your presentation.
Yeah.
Don't do this, okay? Stay stable, okay? And look, the way you communicate with the audience was great, but still, just don't move your body, okay? And be a little bit more relaxed and smiling, you know? Always put a big smile on your face. That's fantastic. Thank you again. Good job, brothers.
Okay. So next we've got I think Kai. Yeah, Kai. So I'll set up your presentation, Kai. Well done.
I look fortnight to get an exercise. I love fortnight. It's 9 times.
So, hello everyone. My name is Kai, and I'm gonna present my presentation. So I'm gonna talk about top 10 values pandemic from history. Some the aims of this presentation. You can see you can know more about one of 3 biggest problems to humanity, and you know that protect environment is very essential to our health, and you know about history and medical, and we are in COVID-19 pandemic, and WHO have warning about monkey smallpox, so we really need to be careful about it. Yeah, so let's start to top 10. We have to know some words first. So pandemic is prevalent over whole country, the world in a certain time. So it's not something like sick. It's not a pandemic, or some small disease is not a pandemic. So top 10 It's the age two pandemic. It start from 1957 and end in 1958. So only in 1 year, they kill 1 to 4 million people, and the mortality rate is 0.67%, which is the percent that people may die. Like in 100 people have this flu, there will be 6.7 people die. So that caused by H1N2 virus.
I was wondering, what does mortality rate mean?
Like percentage,
What
you
percentage?
can die when you have the disease. So the symptom is very normal one. Like sick, cough, headache. It can lead to lung disease and can make it much more serious and may cause death. Yeah. So this disease spread by drops from the cough, and the drops from the cough can stay in the air for 10 minutes. Yeah, so it's very easy to spread out over the world. But in that time, vaccines have already exist, and we get through it very fast in only 1 year. So to the top 9, we have another flu. It's a Hong Kong flu, because it starts from Hong Kong, and the first victims recorded is recorded in 13 July of 1968, and it also exists in 1 year, and this flu caused by H3N2, and the symptoms is exactly like last flu. So you can wonder if what is the H and the N in the name of the virus. So this 2 types of spike of the virus. You can see the name. So one spike can help you can help the virus to stick to the mucous membrane, and the other have the enzyme to neutralize the immune system, so it can get in your respiration system. Yeah. So we go to top 8 is Anthony pandemic. It's very Asian pandemic. It starts from 165 and in 180. So it killed 5 to 10 million people at that time, and the mortality rate is really high. It's in 4 people have Anthony, it will have more 1 people die. Right? And the virus or the bacterial is not found because there's no record and no research at that time, and it can lead to a result. So symptoms is like a smallpox, it's sick,
Diarrhea.
rash, and spot throat. So because the symptoms like smallpox, so doctor led it to lead it to smallpox disease. Yeah. So the top 8 is disappearing in a very mysterious way, and we go to top 7. It's the third plateau pandemic. So when anybody say about this word, they will think about the Black Death. a very terrible pandemic, and it's also have two other kind of pandemic. So the third is the third biggest spread of title. So third. So this is the town is very long time, and it killed 12 to 15 million people, and almost 100% died when after this. So it's caused by the Yersinia pestis bacteria, and symptoms is headache, sick, muscle hurt, and sweating. So it have three main clinicals. It's bubonic. It's like it's spread to the blood and killed by the blood system. Second one is pneumonic. It's by the lungs, and epidemic is the most common one by normal death. So it's spread widely by the shipping trade, and first the virus, the bacteria is first from the flea, so it bites mouse, and another flea bites that mouse and take the bacteria to human. We already know this is COVID-19 pandemic. It's from 2019 to now, and killed 6 to 20 million people. Mortality rate is depending on mutation, because this virus have a lot of mutation. So and caused by coronavirus. So you already know this the symptoms of it, and this COVID-19 is this you wonder the number of killed is from 6 to 24 million. It's a very big difference. So there will be another thing you have to know about is the exact death number. So the death caused by other cause, but related to the disease, like when COVID-19 come, and there will be no job and no home, so people die for no food, no drinks, and no home. Will count to the COVID-19 death. Yeah. Top 5. Another pandemic we already know about is HIV and AIDS. So it's from 1981 to now, and kills 27 to 48 million people, and the mortality rate is 100%. And the most dangerous point about this virus is have no symptoms. So we can know who already have the disease, and they can spread it very easily. So this one weaken our immune system and let all the disease cures. And normally victims of this virus will live for 9 to 11 years before they die. So now we already have a medicine to dilute the virus density to make the victims can live long, almost like normal people. But the medicine, of course, is very expensive. So second pandemic is just another name of it. So it's another Asian pandemic from 541 to 549 and 49. It killed more than 40 million people at that time, and the mortality rate is like all the family is 25%, and no record what percent. Those like students like all the flu pandemic. That time there's no technology or no medical things can solve this problem, but it's still it's a very mystery. Now you may know this one, but you start from a doctor of this problem pandemic. So this a kind of doctor in that time, and it's famous now.
Looks like a witch.
So yeah, and the one causes is the climate change. It causes the Asian water from a mountain between the border of China and Pakistan, and it spread to human and cause the pandemic. So the top three, yeah, is the new smallpox pandemic. The reason why it's called new world because it don't count the old smallpox. It start from the smallpox that a Mexican bring Black Americans to continent and cause the smallpox. So that Americans don't have any immune to any old war disease, so it causes smallpox and very serious pandemic, and still 30 to 50 millions people. I don't know why the number is wrong, but it's 15, 20 to
Should it be the opposite?
15, 18, yeah, and the mortality rate is 30%. It's caused by the variola virus, and the symptoms is so this virus is also virus caused by climate change and global warming. So
you think the virus was from the past, from ancient time, kept alive by the ice, and then when the earth gets warmer, ice melts, and the virus
was
released from.
it can it's like it can live in that temperature.
Okay, so the virus actually came from the past, from ancient time.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
And this one is we can record in the ancient Egypt. Yeah, very old, a very ancient virus from the Egypt, ancient Egypt. So that is also a pandemic we can call because we take the vaccines and kill it or destroy all the pandemic. And this is the only one, the only pandemic we can destroy completely. Yeah. So we go to top two is the 1918 flu pandemic. Is another flu, and the reason why can kill a lot of people is because of the mistakes of medical system, medical technology, and at that time technology is not good enough, and we mistake the cause of the flu to another factor. So this one caused by H1N1 whatever. So Then we studied with the hermophilus virus, and they produced the wrong vaccine. It's no effect to the victims, so the flu can spread and kill a lot of people. Yeah. So the top one is Black Death, Babu, pandemic. It's from the most scariest pandemic from history. So it's from 13.6 to 1353. It killed 75 to 200 million people, and the mortality rate is also 25%, like other and we don't know the virus or the cause the disease, and the symptoms. It's like mostly no symptoms at all. When the victims have pulmonary, they will die in the first symptom, and the one who have pulmonary, they will die from 1 to 6 days after first symptoms. Yeah. And the virus spread first. The most spread is by army of the Geneva. They go to a harbor of Geneva and cover and fight it. So the whole armies die by this pandemic, and they throw the corpse of the one who have go to the enemy and spray. Yeah. So now technologies have development and also medical. We can deal with the pandemic and not stay and wait for it to kill us. Yeah. The slide, take from the slide, go and this is the main result of the slide, and thanks for watching.
Wow.
Any questions?
Yeah, question now.
So I think like when I heard you with your presentation, I heard that the majority of this disease or pandemic is come from Asia, like Asia.
Actually, it's mostly come from China. Yeah, but specifically it's from China. It's like 7 out of 10 pandemic is from China.
So is there any reason why? Climate change?
Because China is very big, and I don't know, they pollute a lot in the environment because of the virus.
Yeah.
If the mortality rate is low, that means the better chance you'll die.
No, better chance to live.
To live.
Oh.
There are some pandemics where the viruses that the cause of a specific virus and cause the pandemic is unknown, right?
Yeah.
Why is that? Is that because like these pandemics are happening every long time ago and scientists weren't able to identify these viruses?
Actually, some way in this story have written about it that we still don't know what specifically what the virus or the bacteria is.
Yeah, but why? Because it's unidentified.
Yeah.
Good. I've got one curious question. Why did you choose this particular topic?
Because we are in pandemic, so I can present about pandemic.
It's very interesting and very interesting. Thank you.
So I'll give some feedback to you. So I'll come on here. So Kai, well done. I can see you spent a lot of time researching that, and it was very detailed. My only comment to you, or couple of comments, is again, just keep you sometimes you're facing a little bit too much the screen. Okay, so try and face. I know you tried. You're quite good, but sometimes you're tended to be a little bit towards too much the screen. But the most important thing I think you need to think about is you need to interact more with the audience. If we just speak, because you did a really good job. You did 20 minutes exactly, which is what I asked. 20 minutes, brilliant, fantastic. But it's a long time to speak. You know, each slide was very similar. Yeah, each slide, same slide, same slide, same slide, same slide. You needed to break it up. You needed to either try a different design of the slide or something, or a picture to explain, or interact with the audience more. Oh, what do you think of this? Or have you heard of this? Or, you know, what do you think? That would have broken it up more.
Because last night I Wi-Fi home stays not real well, and also the 4G is not working.
Yeah.
So I start doing it like in 12 p.m.
Oh, really?
And so I want to make it as simple as possible.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, but just that's some comments. Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely interact more. You could have interacted more. Say, hey, what do you think of this? Or what do you think? It's amazing, isn't it? What do you think? You know, interact a little bit more. Yeah.
And also, I've got a few more pieces of advice for you. I think the thing that Simon has requested and has mentioned several times is open your mouth when you speak. And speak up, and don't use monotone language. You know, you need to vary, you know, your tone a little bit more to make your speaking more interesting, more engaging. And the way you spoke just now was quite you need to really show more energy and enthusiasm.
Simon is a good example when he talks. All of a sudden he talks really loud and he wants to make sure you understand him.
Your
very
voice volume and pitch.
Vary the speed, the speed.
I think that was very good.
It's really great.
But the content is very interesting.
Very
I have learned several things
Yeah.
from your presentation.
Okay, so let's give a quick I think that took a few hours, right?
Yeah.
Few hours. You didn't get much sleep.
Wonderful.
You showed all that. while you-
And also you speak like you are a doctor. Yeah, like he is very keen on this, you know, medical stuff.
Did you
What?
know most of
Yeah.
this before? Learn most of it before?
No.
That's a lot.
Is it your interest?
Yeah.
And also one more good thing about your presentation is you give credits at the end of your presentation. You give credit to the sources that you use. That's very awesome. That's wonderful. Yeah, but up also take credit to the photo that we took from the internet.
Okay.
But you know that you put something in words, in text.
Okay, we're going to start. If I can get this to go full screen, can you get it to go full screen? Where's full screen?
Nước muối nghiện được suy nghĩ là bệnh gì chỉ có nước nghiện đúng rồi.
Ready to go? Okay, John, you're up.
My eye hurts. Wait. No. My eyes hurts. Hello, everyone. My name is John. And today I'll be showing you about technology. First, we got old technology. Basically, old stuff back then. So here's some old technologies like the hourglass, vacuum cleaner, primitive fire, or making quill pen, sundial, outhouse, and swamp cooler. They have been replaced by the clock, electric vacuum cleaner, lighter, ballpoint pen, a clock for outside, because the sundial is for outside, portable toilets, and air conditioner. Here's some pictures of the old technologies of the hourglass. We got that manual vacuum cleaner, baby daisy. We got that swamp cooler, outhouse, sundial. They use sunlight to measure time, and quill pen. And here's the most used technology. It's very old. It's the abacus. People still use them in 2022. The abacus were first used by the Babylonians about more than 1000 BC. The abacus is used for math, I think, and here's a picture of it right there. Yeah, here's some facts about the abacus. A horizontal pole at the center of the modern abacus can instantly make it read 0. Scotty is a name given to the Russian abacus. It differs from other abacuses in that it does not have decks. The abacus is said to have been originated in China, as the first written record dates back to the 2nd century BC. Most people mix up the counting board with the abacus, but both gadgets are extremely distinct. What?
What is BC?
Before Christ is basically before Jesus was born.
Very good.
The Chinese equivalent of an abacus is called a sun pan, meaning calculating pan. How did old technology help humans? Advance in tool making technology led to advance in agriculture.
Yeah.
Thanks. Farming revolutionized the world and set prehistoric humans on a course toward modernity. Yeah. Inventions such as a plow helped in the planting of seed, which humans didn't have to worry and depend the luck on hunts. What was technology like in the past? Technology in the past was meant to simply help society with problems such as creating a light bulb in the place of a candle light. Nowadays, technology has strayed from simply being helpful and has become something that we, the creators, and unable to fully explain or control. Some facts about the old technologies. PCs went by the name electric brains in the 1950s. Email has been around longer than the World Wide Web. There are approximately 6,000 new viruses released every month. Computer programming is currently one of the fast-growing occupations related to technology. The 30th of November is known as Computer Security Day. Technophobia is a fear of technology. Nomophobia is a fear of being without mobile phone. What? Cyberphobia is a fear of computers. Cool. The original name of Windows was Interface Manager. Facts about technology too. The internet is about 1,000 plus days old. Currently, the world's largest hard drive is about 60 terabytes SSD. I don't know what that means.
Solid.
What?
It's a short for solid drive.
The Apple II had a hard drive of only 5 megabytes when it was released. That's bad. The name Google was created accidentally. A spelling error was made by the original founders who were under the impression they were going for Google. The average computer user blinks 7 times a minute, less than half the normal rate of 20. Time magazine's named the computer the Man of the Year in 1982.
What does that mean? Man of the Year. What does that mean?
I don't quite understand.
That's all.
Okay. I should have removed it. Hey, now on new technologies. All right, so here's some new technology that you definitely know, probably should. iPhone, MacBook, iPad, oven, air conditioner, lamp, lighter. And here's some technology that you probably don't know. Atomic battery, powered exoskeleton, transparent image sensor, gravity powered lamp, mind controlled robot, because you know that, probably, I don't know. Micro, air, vehicle, and Wi-Fi. What are those technologies? Atomic battery. This is a device that uses radioactive to create electricity. Powered exoskeleton. This is a wearable mobile, right? Machine that facilitates limb movements with greater strength and endurance. So bad. Wi-Fi is a wireless transmission technology that uses straight from LED lights instead of radio waves to transfer data at speeds as impressively high as 224 gigabytes per second. Wow. Transparent image sensors. This device is a flexible, transparent circuit free image sensor made of plastic film coated with fluorescent particles that can be used in user interface devices that can respond to both touch and gestures. Gravity powered lamps. This is a lamp that powered a bag of sand or rock hung by a cord which gradually comes down like a weight drive and a cuckoo clock. Cuckoo! Is technology hurting society? Positive. No, it no hurt. Positive impact on technology on society. The development and adaptation of technology have helped society raise productivity, inclusivity of services, and improve overall well-being.
You know what productivity is?
Are you kidding? I'm tired last night. How is technology useful now? A day. We use technology to exchange information, to clean our clothes, prepare food, and to get from one place to another. Apps. But even everyday items like door locks, floor panels, furniture are technologies that we now take for granted and that seems less impressive to us than self-driving cars or 3D printing. How is technology important now? Technology affects the way individuals communicate, learn, and think. It helps society and determines how people interact with each other on a daily basis. Technology plays an important role in society today. It has positive and negative effects on the world, and it impacts daily lives. It is an essential tool that we cannot avoid. It plays an important role in our majority of our lives. Technology essentially harnesses the tools. How did technology change? Modern technology have paved the way for multifunctional devices like the smartwatch and the computers are increasingly faster, more portable, and higher powered than ever before. With all of these revolutions, technology has also made our life easier, faster, better, and more fun. How did technology change our lives? Technology affects almost every aspect of 21st century life, from transport efficiency and safety to access food and healthcare, socializations and productivity. The power of internet has enabled global communication to form ideas and resources to be shared more easily. Technology has made it easier to farm, more feasible to build cities, more convenient to effectively linking together all countries on Earth. Who changed technology and turned to modern? Nikola Tesla, I love him. He's a father of modern technology. He changed the technology's life. He's an inventor. He used to work for Thomas Edison. And facts about technology, facts about Nikola Tesla, even though it's already here. He was born during a thunderstorm. He was very funny. He and Edison were rivals, but not sworn enemies. He developed the idea for smartphone technology in 1901. He had famous friends. Pearls drove him crazy. He had a photographic memory and fear of germs. How biotechnology can change the world? This is the last one. Can enhanced technology help change the world? Yes. Disability has been making people sad. Some of them can't use their hands, walk, see, hear, speak, hear. The solution: build enhanced technology to fix all their problems so they can feel normal again. People who can't use their hands. We all know we can all help. We can all help solving that problem. We can help solve that problem by building robotic hands that can be mind controlled by your brains, or you can just buy a robot assistant to help them pick up stuff and cook for them too. People who can't walk, that sucks. People who can't walk have the worst luck. Agreed. We can solve that by building electric scooters with seat charger screen and engines so that they could use them without their feet, even though they don't have feet or legs, or buy a robot assistant so they can just get things for you and cook for you, or you can just cook for yourself. People who can't see, that sucks again. People who can't see have even worse luck than people who can't walk. Because you can't see and you don't know where you're going, you might fall to your death. To solve that, build a robotic sensor that tells you where to go, where to not go, and when to stop. That's so good. Train, or you could buy trained dogs that could guide you to where you want to go, buy stuff. I teaching them some words, and those words means where to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, I don't know what that means. What kind of people who can't speak, not being able to communicate. Speak is bad because you need to communicate. How to solve that? Build a portable word typer so that you can type something and show it to others so they could read. Or you could just build a mouth reader which reads your mouth and shows you what it thinks you said. It better have good accuracy. People who can't hear is also bad because you need to hear people to understand what they're saying so you can reply. Solve that easy. Build a device that turns other people's words into text fast and accurate, just like the other one. Just kidding. All right, so trash on the road and water. Lots of trash on the road. There has been lots of trash on the road because people are too lazy to throw in the trash, keep throwing out outside the windows and in the water. To solve that, build multiple trucks, cars to clean roads and sidewalks to stop letting trash take over our world. And they're also automatic and they work 24 hours a day. Woo! Lots of trash are also in the water too because people who live near rivers throw their trash down. What just happened?
I think you pressed the X.
I didn't do anything. I was just standing here.
Technology. Yeah.
Technology, yeah.
No. Yeah, that's okay. I think. Yeah, that's for full speed. Yeah, that's okay. All right. Then now there's a lot of trash in the water too because people who live near rivers, they take their trash, throw in the river, just like nothing. And solve that, build big boats to clean the ocean. I meant multiple big boats to clean the ocean and multiple small boats to clean the rivers. They're also like the trucks and cars, which they automatic and work 24 hours a day. Yeah. And the end. Thank you for listening.
Well, I have one question.
What?
Okay, we're discussing technology and help people who can't see, right?
Yes.
And one of the solutions I saw on the slide was about trained dog.
Yeah.
So can you please elaborate a little bit more on that? Why trained dog is considered to be part of technology?
Oh no, that was a mistake. No, I totally forgot. Yes. Yeah.
So why? So
It's because I was thinking about dogs.
so you don't think it's part of technology? I was thinking that you implying technology can help train the dog, so the dog can be better trained to be the guide dog. But don't worry if you didn't mean
It's good that you were thinking about it.
Yes.
What is productivity?
Huh?
What's productivity?
What
I hate
is
you.
productivity? Challenging you were.
This is very challenging. I can't do it.
It appears a lot in the paper.
Yeah, that's what we use.
I have a question.
Our products. What?
So you talked about a lot about the advantages and positiveness of technology.
Yeah.
What are the disadvantages?
I think about that either.
This is your presentation.
Yep. And I didn't think about that either. I just didn't think about that. That's it.
Okay, any more questions? Any more questions for John?
I love this.
Feedback. So just a few things.
You
Again,
can't see it, I think.
just be aware of appearance.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe it looks strange presenting with a word there like elephant man or someone. Okay, sorry. The second thing is I really like your gestures. Yeah, it makes the presentation very interesting. That's great. And your voice modulation is really good. It's up and down. It's really great. It makes it interesting.
Yeah.
But normally you wouldn't do this and this and this and pointing. Normally you wouldn't do that in a presentation, right? But it's fun. It makes everyone interesting. They didn't fall asleep.
Yeah.
And again, vary your slides a little bit. It looked all very similar.
Wordy, very wordy.
Yeah, very short.
They can't even see it.
It was short, but it was just very similar. Okay. The other thing I would say is that if you're going to present something, know what you're presenting.
Yes.
Okay, so have an idea what this means, what that means, because people will ask questions of you. So you need to answer. Okay, but you did a good job, and it was much better than the one you did last time. So congratulations.
All I did was talking shit.
Awesome. I love this one. Yeah. Good job. I love this one.
Yeah.
Is that okay? Is that okay?
Full screen, please.
You're not gonna put your camera back with it.
Wait, is that your first page?
Oh, never mind. That's that's great. That's great. That's great. Son, that's great.
Just press the home.
Good. That's it. That's where you want to start there. Okay.
I can start right now, right? Right.
I see one problem.
No, yeah.
Okay. First off, everyone clap. Thank you. Okay, so first off, this is my presentation. Hello. Wait, Simon, this is some full presentation.
That's okay.
This is a full presentation. Okay, okay, never mind. First off, if you just allow me real quick to open my notes, script this part. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Kay, and today I'd like to speak to you about the importance of characterization in media fiction. Now, I'm a person, if you may not know, I'm a person who enjoys a lot about media and fiction. I love indulging myself in the complexity of stories, I guess. And I love either watching them or reading them. They always bring me joy. And as I go on, as I read even more, I started to notice a specific element that leaves an impact on how I will view media as a whole moving forward. And that is characterization, which I'll be talking about in the first section. So these are the main objectives I'm going to be aiming at, the 3 questions. The essential questions, basically the essential questions you audience might be having about this topic overall. So first of all, is what does the word characterization mean? Second, why is it so important? And third, what makes a character have good characterization? But before I move on, does anyone from the audience might like to take a guess? What? About these questions?
What does characterization mean?
Yeah.
No, no idea.
Thought so. Moving on. Then, so as I said, I'm going to be discussing about the meaning of the word characterization. So characterization is a literary device used in the creation and representation of fictional characters. And it is just like the name suggests and the description that I just said, it's like a description of the characters, ranging from generic factors such as physical traits and personality, just the bottom line, the basis of everything, and then to more in-depth elements like point of views, private thoughts, and actions. Characterization can help us to understand these 3 factors when reading a character's story. First off is understanding the character. When you know the details of a character as a whole, especially the in-depth factors, like as I said, the private thoughts and their perspectives, you can feel a sense of sympathy for them and connect better. Secondly is how the perspective within the character can drive the story forward. Because perspectives help navigate such characters throughout the story, it sets up as a base for how they will act moving forward for the story to bloom from them. And the final point I want to make is how, other than giving life to and meaning to the story, like I said in the second point, because these perspectives, they navigate through the story can have life and meaning. The characters themselves also give themselves a sense of authenticity where they can really connect with the audience. So moving on to the second question, why is it so important? So before we could truly answer the question, I want you guys to understand the structures of a character. I forgot to mention this before, but this is a pretty complex and complicated topic, and overall it's pretty philosophical, I guess. There isn't one correct answer. There's more than one. And so this is why most of my research on this presentation isn't much online. It's rather on my experience. But yeah, trust me, these are the right sources. And yeah. So yeah, I'd like to give you a throughout of the structure of a character in my humble opinion. So first of all is the basis of the character, the bottom line, the starting point, if you may. This is basically the starting traits you're giving to a character. Like I said before, it's very generic things like their personality and their physical traits. Moving on to their second foundation is the conflict. So conflict, this can be internal or external, which I'll talk about later on. But this section will overall show how the character is able to navigate through the course of the problem. And the final foundation will be development, otherwise known within this characterization topic as character development within the character, which, as simple as it is, means the process the character learns, the characters learn valuable lessons, leading them to grow from it, and what the name suggests, overall development, just their development overall. And I only wrote my script to that, so now I will go offhand, so apologies if I do stutter. So first off, the foundation I'll speak thoroughly about is the basis of the characters. This, I want you guys to imagine it as like a layer of cakes. The bottom line, the very bottom line here, is the specific physical trait, personality, and just a starting line, as I said before, the starting line to begin with, the bottom line for everything. Because like when you're making a cake, it doesn't really matter. It could be anything. It doesn't matter if the cake has white icing, it's strawberry flavor, just anything. It's anything as long as you have that, to build on that. So the rest of the cake could be white. You just need an outline for everything. And then the second layer would be the motivation and goals, or the ideology and perspective of the characters. Now, not only did I highlight this in bold and also underline it, because I really want to emphasize on how this layer is really important. And like I said, and like how I connected to this cake, it's the flavor of the cake. So, which emphasizes on how the importance of it. Without this flavoring, the cake will be really dull and bland, and readers won't find themselves be enticed by it. And I will speak about this later on. But for now, as a whole, overall, I'll just say this part is really important because it gives the audience a chance to immediately have a feel of the character. They can have a feel of the character from the first layer, the specific traits of them, but this allows a much more deeper meaning, and the chance to connect with your sympathy is really more powerful. And then the third layer on top of the flavor is the backstory of the character's life. Now, in my opinion, this specific factor is kind of optional because I feel like the backstories is the section where readers can find out where they how the characters are formed. Because like all of us, we all have childhoods, we all have our past, and they, in some way or form, have definitely shaped us to who we are now. And that's why I asked the backstory of their life. but I do think this is mainly aimed towards the main protagonists, not side characters, because with side characters, I believe that only their ideology and perspective is powerful enough for the characters to have a sense of why they're shaped like that. And yeah, then the last point I want to make is that through these layers of cakes, it gives the readers, the audience, a chance to make up assumptions which may play a role of anticipation, because this way you are getting your audience to be intrigued in your story. And now moving on to the second foundation, conflict. So what does conflict mean? It's another literary device that is characterized when two opposing forces create a struggle. This is the crucial force to drive the narrative forward, both the story narrative and the character narrative. And it provides, and especially the character narrative, it provides more depth and deeper meaning to the character's narrative story perspective. Because I want you to imagine like a conflict as like a cut through the character's skin, and by doing this, it exposes a wound in the characters. And when the wound is exposed, it gives them a chance to highlight their motivations, values, and weaknesses, and also to challenge them. Because this way, when you're really exposed, you have to heal it, right? So they're being challenged with their own ideology or perspective, and overall just their way of solving the problem, solution to the conflict. And now there are two types of conflicts. I would like to give you guys a thorough explanation, is internal and external. Internal conflict is when a character struggles within their own opposing desires or beliefs. So this comes from a mental state. And external conflict would be when it sets a character against something or someone beyond their control, whether it be settings, a different character, or the whole society that they're opposed to. I'll talk you thoroughly about internal conflict first, where the opposition coming from within the character. These are the three possibilities I could see of internal conflict. The first being the mental struggle of when different perspectives interrupt. So to break this sentence down, I basically mean when they have a philosophy that the author has set for them at the beginning. But then as the story moves forward and they interact with more people, more characters, those characters also have different ideologies. So they clash into together. And now our main character, the original character with the ideology the author set it up from the beginning, is now having to battle out what if their perspective is what I should be looking at the world, at the story overall from the beginning this whole time. Which leads you to a second point, is when the internal conflict where the character has to discern what is the right moral choice. And this is used commonly in, I guess, crime fantasies world, where they don't know what is the right decision to make when they view the whole world as, I guess, morally gray, but now they have to choose if what they've been doing has been wrong, has been opposing to society's good standards. And the third point is about internal conflict, is that it can encompass mental health difficulties, like their anxiety disorder, depression, etc. This can come out in many ways, as mental health is a very controversial and wild topic. And moving on to external conflicts. So external conflicts acts as an obstacle in the way of the character's motivations. And as I said before, it's something beyond your control. So external conflict creates tension as the characters try to reach their goals or resolve a solution. And it grapples with opposing beliefs from secondary elements. So as I said before, with meeting different characters with ideologies and their own and the original character's ideology having clashed into each other. This is also what I meant by that, coming back to that point. And then the second point I want to make is just examples of these secondary factors clashing and interrupting, where it could be of secondary characters, side characters, villains they meet along the way, the setting, the nature they have to battle out. And I really like this one is society, where they grow up in the society where society set out these good standards and have to follow them, but they don't know if it's actually right. Then moving on to the final foundation, which is development, otherwise known as character development in the sense that I'm talking about. So character development sounds really simple. It's, as the name suggests, it's the process where a character evolves or develops throughout the story. This could be due to conflict, settings, perspectives, and just overall all the factors I just listed for on what makes a story, what makes a character. Character develop for the character. It allows them to experience and then learn valuable lessons throughout the course of the problem conflict, and it allows them to develop or expand their point of views. So basically, they will either evolve or expand their whole character. I'd like to talk about this point later on because I really think it's such a wild and complicated topic. I'll talk you through an example I'm about to make later on. And overall, and if the characters have motivations and goals from the beginning, if they were to reach that, they will be able to develop their character even further. Now, to answer the question that I said from the beginning, is characterization important? I'd like to bring you to this quote by Tony Xman, where he quotes, "Character is the real foundation of all worthwhile success." I'm going to let you guys soak that in and just think about that for a moment. Because I'm going to be honest, I don't even think this quote is even related to what I'm talking about. But I just added in because there's a space and I feel anxious about it and I just want to add a quote. I'm going to be honest. But yeah, so
it is still related in my opinion.
Yeah, but I think this quote is related on like human beings, not like stories wise.
In arts, for example, in fiction world, if you want to have for example, a famous fiction bestseller, for example, you need to build a character.
Yeah, but that's not the point I'm making, so I wouldn't say it's really related. So I really more related to human beings. Okay. Yeah, I'll still answer this question. Is characterization important? Definitely, because I'm a firm believer that a story needs to be dragged forward, a story needs to be moved forward because there's characters. So it doesn't matter if you have a good setting, a magical setting, and there's a really like high tension plot that you need to drive through. You still need the characters in order to be like the engine for the story to drive on to move forward. So yeah, I think, yeah, okay. So now we are going to the third question, which is what's good characterization? What makes a character have good characterization? So I gathered 3 points that I think create the main foundation of a good characterization. First of all is the complexity of the characters. Second is if the character is three-dimensional. And third, once again, there's an open space, so I just added the first thing that comes to mind. But I do think this is also plays a part, which I'll discuss later on, but I do think this is kind of optional. So first, I'll talk about the 2 main elements that like I said before, that I do think is the most important foundation, is the in-depth elements, where it talks about the complexity and and how three-dimensional a character is. These kind of cross each other as they kind of do mean the same thing. So complexity means the depth the character holds, where there's layers to unwrap about them. And how three-dimensional one is that how one trait of a character doesn't define them as a whole. But a variety of characteristics build up the whole character. There's a lot of layers to unwrap about the character. They're three-dimensional, they're not a flat surface you could easily broad through, but there's a lot of layers to unwrap about them as the story moves forward. And now on the realistic elements is how realistic as a real life human being. So realism, these realistic elements of everyday human emotions, struggles, and hardship to allow better connection with the audience. This is why because I've been in the world of media fiction a long time, I see people's opinions online and they always say what makes the character so well written is based on how realistic a character is. which, by the way, which I inserted over here, is probably the reason why, because it allows them to have a better connection with them. They understand them, so they will have empathy and sympathy for them in order to actually connect and overall get attached to these characters, indulge in the story. However, that's their point. However, I do disagree, because I feel like a character doesn't need to be realistic in order to be good, well written. When these two factors are right there, I think as long as your characters has layers to unravel by them, it's already interesting enough. It doesn't need to be relatable at all, in my opinion. And have you guys been keeping like minute scores, like how many minutes a person is presenting?
Used to have a few more minutes.
Because I was thinking I'm done. Wait, but do you guys have any questions?
Yeah.
Oh, well, why don't you say so? I was going to run through an example of a related character.
Yeah.
So this is actually a character I've been brought back when I created this presentation, so it really hyped me up about it. And I want to bring you through a character called Megumi Fushiguro from the hit anime series Jujutsu Kaisen. I'll run you through the basis of these characters and run you through back about the main foundations of what makes a character, the structure of the characters. So first off, this is a slide where I'm talking about their appearance and personality. So can you guys guess which layer, which foundation am I talking about?
Base.
Yeah, definitely. That's pretty easy. Basically, like I said, generic information to just get the ball rolling. So Megumi Fushiguro, his appearance, he's a dark-haired, tall young teenager with green eyes, with significant figures. His significant features is his stout long hair with spikes that spikes out looking like a sea urchin animal. And with his personality, as you can guess, so I want to say his appearance, as you can guess from it, he would probably be a cold, distant character, which, as again, links to what I said about the audience immediately having a feel of the character. They can guess assumptions at the top of their head. Which links to their personality, guessing that he's distant and cold, which is correct, because he's absolutely stoic, distant, but he's an intelligent and calculated individual, and he's earnest, he's very serious, yet thoughtful. I want you guys to remember that for a second about how thoughtful this character is, because it will play a role later on. So first off, I'll introduce Megumi Fushiguro. So what I'm doing in this section is running you through like broad events, like very generic events that seem really simple at the tip of the iceberg, but as I go along, I'll tell you how these little events are pretty significant to his character. So first off, in episode 19 of Jujutsu Kaisen, there's a baseball match, a very friendly one, just an outdoor activity for the students to play along. So what happens? A specific event that happened during this baseball match is when Nobara Kugisaki hit a swing and went to first base. It's now Megumi's turn. They're in the same team, by the way. And he decided to hit a sacrifice bunt instead of a full swing, because a full swing would have gotten both him and Nobara to the second base, but it would be risky because he could have failed that full swing. So that's why he chose to do a sacrifice bunt instead, because it guarantees Nobara to advance to second base at a 100% chance. Once again, soak that in for a moment on how he's a thoughtful person. Like from this alone, you can probably guess why he's such a thoughtful person, how kind and humble he is, and how he's a team player. And that's why Gojo, his mentor, he plays a similar role in the upcoming slides I'm going to talk about. His mentor notices his actions on how he's humble and really a team player. He plays the team. He isn't afraid to be selfless and put others ahead of him. Another event is the event at the Yasuhachi Bridge incident. This incident, you don't need to go in depth and understand as a whole, but basically he lies to his friends in order to go to this incident alone to exercise the curse, because they have got a word from their superior officers that this incident involves curses that are really dangerous, basically monsters, curses, devils that are really dangerous, and it shouldn't be done with first years with students that are still new to this whole world. So from those two small generic events, you can already understand the position Megami is holding. He's a selfless person who puts others he cares about first. And that is a really honorable trait. But as a sorcerer, as someone who exercises curses, I guess saving people, I guess, a hero, I suppose, it isn't a good trait because it harms his cause, because it harms his growth in order to be able to develop further. Because as a sorcerer, you always aim to be stronger. However, this trait of putting others before him can really affect his growth. I'll talk about why in this couple of slides. Second part of Megami his ideology, his philosophy, and how he views the world and why he puts others before him. His mentality. So like I said, he's the type of person to take the easy way out, the simple path. Like during the baseball match, instead of doing a full swing, he used a sacrifice bunt instead, where it guarantees victory with a small cost to him, the small cost of sacrificing himself. So why does he do that? Because it's rooted in his nature as a protector due to his ideology of good and bad based on his upbringing, his past. Because Megami has a philosophy where he rejects this cosmic justice system called karma. This is really interesting, and there's another arc in the whole series that touches more about it, but I'll talk about it briefly. Where karma, you guys know what karma is. When you do something bad immediately happens to you back. He doesn't believe in that because he had witnessed how bad things have happened to good people. Like I won't say too much due to spoilers. But he has a close friend of him who died, because of a curse that's laid upon them, even though they have done nothing wrong. They have been morally good the whole time. Okay. Continuing on, because Megami sees how people who were good, as opposed to society's good standards, were given such unfairness in life when they have done nothing wrong. While he sees how good those people are, he doesn't think himself to be the same good kind. That's why he's a person, as I said, sacrificial person who puts others to care about before him. And he's not afraid to do anything, to sacrifice through any means just to get them moving forward instead of himself. He doesn't think he lives up to society's good standards. Once again, he thinks he needs to put those others that are actually good to society's standards up before himself. That's why he's ready to sacrifice himself for others before him, the good people. And next is the conflict, the second base of the main foundation to creating the structure of a character. So the obstacle he's facing. I would like to run you through how this conflict is really acting as a struggle for him to be able to fully grow. This obstacle, his mentality is setting unnecessary artificial limits on himself by dodging the a significant way where he can improve so much better. He's choosing the easy way out. He's dodging his growth, basically. So he's basically just setting unnecessary limits on himself when he doesn't need to do that. And by doing so, he's not only underestimating his own abilities, but also others' abilities. Because Megami overall, he's born with a really rare and strong ability. He could surpass almost everyone, and even the current strongest character in the series, he could really surpass him, but he hasn't reached that potential that full potential with his ability yet, because he always takes the easy way out. He always uses to sacrifice himself instead of testing and experimenting his ability to the fullest. He basically never gives himself a chance to fully bloom and grow, develop. Which brings to my statement back a while ago about how Gojo Satoru, his mentor, teaches him in an art called The Origin of Obedience, on how he needs to start being selfish. It's okay to be a little selfish sometimes and put yourself forward, because you, at the end of the day, if you really want to be a good sorcerer to save everyone, you need to prioritize that first in order to develop with your ability to the fullest. Which is why I like to emphasize this quote that he gave Megumi, which I think is really important. Winning by dying and winning even if you die are two completely different things. Winning by dying is basically what I said before about him sacrificing himself. But winning even if he die, he's taking his full potential to the fullest, even if the result is end up in his death. But those are two completely different things, and he should really aim forward to reaching his full potential, winning even if you die. And for the third foundation, the final foundation is his character development. From this picture, I don't think can you guys guess what's going on?
He's using his full power, probably.
Yeah, wait, that's actually correct. So basically, I'll run you through this really briefly. This first manga panel is him, as you can guess from his quote, is the end for me. He's basically about to sacrifice himself. He's about to unleash a shikigami that basically destroys everything, even the owner itself, even the own person, in which this case, Megumi, the person who summoned shikigami, the shikigami will kill himself too. This is why he starts casting the spell, Furube, summoning the shikigami. But then in this second panel, you can see that he's using a completely different technique where he's using domain expansion. So what is happening? So because he's, like John said, reaching his full potential, he has managed to adapt a more dynamic mindset, a more active mindset of being an actual team player, where he trusts himself and others to a greater extent. Like I said, reaching a much more full potential. This grants him the ability to develop more as a Jujutsu sorcerer. Like I said, Jujutsu sorcerers are always aiming to grow stronger, as there are always curses growing out everywhere that needs to be exercised immediately. And by doing so, he also discards his old static mindset that was limiting his own growth. And do you guys have a better understanding now of what I think the structure of a character would play an important role?
Absolutely.
All right. So yeah, thanks for listening. That was my whole presentation. Thank you.
Wow.
Any questions?
Experts. No?
Okay.
Right, I'm so good. You guys don't have any.
So a few comments. So a few comments. Okay, very well researched. Obviously, the English was perfect. Flowed very well. Interacted with people. Maybe I would have. It was a very niche topic you selected, right? Quite niche. Not something I would have thought of. You know, it's like, wow, you thought of it.
Yeah, it's because something I've been really passionate about.
Yeah, you're really interested. But just remember the audience as well. Maybe they could be not so interested in it, or maybe they don't, connect with it as you do. So what I would have done, I would have used your second presentation as the way to introduce your characterization. I related much more to where you said, "Oh, I've got time," and then you switched to the actual example. That was I related better to that, because I could actually see and understand through real things, real content for me. Okay, but it was very well researched. It was interesting. Maybe a little bit long. Maybe you went for 25, maybe 28 minutes. Yeah, it went for a long time. So it was a little bit light. So just be aware of the audience as well. Yeah. You could have skipped a few slides if you wanted to, if you think they're losing the audience, but they were very polite. They listened, but good job. Very good job. Very good. Yeah.
Next, we have a few more things for you to improve. I think you are a professional presenter. I can see that, and you understand your topic. You have done great research. Still, like Simon said, when we speak in front of people, we need to be aware of the audience. So we need to make sure that they have the same or some level of interest. And also the speed. You know, your English is excellent, but in my opinion, it would be better if you spoke a little bit slower, so that people can. And especially before, important things like for example, when you explain the terminology, the characterization or conflict or this and that, before basic terms, I would say you need to give some sort of pause, stop speaking, giving people time to digest and to pay attention. And also when you explaining those important things, slow down the voice a little bit, and that will be better. But fantastic job. I'm very impressed. And I just, for the people here, she is the pro.
So well done, everyone. So that ends the English language course of your 2 weeks in Australia. So thank you very much for being great students. I don't know who this new student, I don't know his name. But you've all been great to teach, you've all listened, you've all behaved, you've done your homework or tried your best to do your homework. So for me, that makes my job easier. So I want to say a big thank you to you. So well done, you guys, as well. Okay. Anthony, any words?
Yeah, no, you haven't said it all. Well done. I'm very proud and happy. And I guess it's time to celebrate. And we have a little walk and the barbecue.
A barbecue.
Yeah.
In the Australia bush. I'm hoping there's going to be some bird life down for you.
All right. Thank you. I'm going to end this.
Yeah, and tomorrow morning